你被捕了，布里奇。交给我吧。
点单送达。哎呀，请坐好。力により星の軌跡は変えられ、私たちは引き合わされました。トロロ、入隊いたします。
Hey guys, welcome to Girls Frontline 2, and we're going to do a dive into the Hydra team synergy and how they will be complementing each other. So I just want to explain the chart here. The upper row, meaning 1 to 2 here, this is the support that a particular doll will be giving, and the recipients will be in this column here, the deployed unit column. So we'll start off with Nikita. Nikita doesn't have any buffs for her teammates, Tololo and Springfield, but she does have a lot of self buffs. So including increase the range of Kulik's loyalty by 2 tiles, increases Kulik's inherited HP by 100%. Kulik gains Kulik's deterrence. So it's a decrease in attack of all enemies within 5 tile ranges by 10%. So meaning Kulik has to be within those enemies by 5 tiles. This unlocks at V5. So she also gives herself extra commands other than movement can be executed. Extra action as well, but this one is unlocking at V1. Insight, she has Clue, increases damage dealt outside of one's turn by 5%, maximum of 5 stacks. This is considered a Hydra type buff and cannot be dispelled. Counterattack, performs an attack, cannot be triggered by interceptions, counterattacks, or action supports, but this counterattack is only for Kulik. Okay, so as for the enemy debuffs that Nikita can give, one is Tide Away, applies damp to units which end their movement in the area for 2 turns. Enemy units in this area gain a weakness to Hydro damage and Hydro tiles. Fixed key. This unlocks through a fixed key. Guilt, the holder takes 5% more Hydro damage from Nikita and Kulik. Surveillance is when the holder gains damage from enemies, receives 2 stability damage, takes 50% more damage from counterattack performed by Kulik. This is considered a Hydro type debuff and cannot be dispelled. So this requires a vertebrae to unlock as well. Okay, so that sums it up for Nikita. So she does a lot of debuffs for the enemies. She does a lot of the self buffs as well. Then let's go to the next one, which is Springfield. Springfield is going to be holding, holding everything together. She does have heals. She does have enhancement of Hydro damage. So additional heal is converted into increased Hydro damage dealt. There are a lot going in her kit, and she covers a lot. So we'll go through some of the buffs she has. So Overflowing Care. After carrying out the command or after dealing damage or after receiving damage, the holder restores HP equivalent to 5% of the attack of the caster's attack at the end of the action. If the holder is at maximum HP, additional healing is converted in increase into hydro damage dealt for every additional healing equivalent to 1.5 the caster's attack. Increase hydro damage dealt by 1% up to a maximum of 35%. So this is actually her buff. Okay, so this is considered a hydro type buff. It cannot be dispelled. Shared telepathy if the holder's active attack deals hydro damage. Increases confectance index by 1 point, is only effective once. And this is considered a hydro type buff. It cannot be dispelled. And this is unlocked through Vertebrae 1. Bird Bonds is increased HP equivalent to 100% of the caster's max HP. When this buff expires, the holder restores HP equivalent to 100% of the caster's attack. This buff cannot be dispelled. And she also dispels 1 debuff and dispels Taunt and Fear. Dispels as well Stun and Infatuated, but this unlocks at V2. So, again, these are the buffs and the dispels that she gives to Tololo and also to Nikita. Okay, she can also give this to herself, but she does have some additional things in her kit. Tariz, when the target that Tariz is following deals damage to an ally, activates counterattack, and heals HP for the ally. When the target that Tariz is following dies, it automatically follows the enemy unit within the highest HP next. This is actually treated as a summon. She does have a summon similar to Nikita. So counterattack performs an attack, cannot be triggered by interceptions, counterattacks, or action supports, but this is only applicable to the summon, which is Tariz. Okay, so with that said, we do have an extra action for herself. So these are additional buffs aside from the buffs that she gives to the team. One action can be taken, Insight as well. Self-heal, if Tariz is on the field at the end of Springfield's action, restores HP equivalent to 20% max HP. Tariz activates action support against the enemy, dealing Hydro, but this unlocks at V3. Okay, take note of that. So overall, guys, in terms of buffs, buffing the team and buffing herself, she does have a lot. You don't need to worry about the other team members buffing the team as well. The other team members will just have to shoot the enemy and do their debuffs, which will go to Tololo as well. So, just to give you additional debuffs from Springfield. This is from Springfield. So false intelligence increase stability damage received by 2 points if the holder is in stability break. Increase hydro damage received by 10%. This is also considered as a hydro type debuff. It cannot be dispelled. We have damp, reduces healing by 40%. Upon reaching 2 stacks, it's converted into congestion for 2 turns, maximum 2 stacks. Considered a hydro debuff. Congestion cannot be healed, considered a hydro debuff. Cold Wave, all healing received is converted into fixed damage taken. This is considered as a hydro type debuff, but it unlocks at B4. Path of Protection, when this skill is used, pulls all target towards the center of by 3 tiles. This is opened by a fixed key, and Vulnerable Analysis, increased hydro damage received by 5%, can be stacked up to 3 times. It's considered as a hydro type debuff. It cannot be dispelled. V6. Open at V6. Again, she is loaded. Probably the best character right now in Girls Frontline 2 in terms of having the heals, having the buffs, having the debuffs. Amplifies damage as well. You name it, she has it. She also has a summon. So, again, I can't say more. She is basically your anchor for your Hydro team. And the last one is going to be Tololo. So for Tololo, all she does is give herself some buffs here or some effects. So light spike, critical and critical rate and crit damage increased by 3, stacking up to 8 times, and extra action, targeted attack boost, target damage increased by 20%, considered a buff, but this opens up V4. Critical rate boost, critical rate increased by 20%. Again, all of these are actually opening at V4. So all 4 of these, target attack boost, critical rate boost, phase boost, and piercing, all at V4. Okay, increase attack up to, increased by 15, considered a buff. This is unlocked by a fixed key. Damage up to all of these are actually unlocked by a fixed key. And she does have one debuff. Congestion cannot be healed, considered a hydro debuff. So this is unlocked by a fixed key. Okay, going back to Springfield, she does have a common key, which also gives an additional skill or ability. Recovers 2 points of stability index at the end of the action, considered a buff. This is continuous stability regen. This can be equipped by any of the members or even outside of the Hydra team. This is actually nice because for me, this is the first time that I've seen a skill be in the common key, which is very, very nice and which could amplify the survivability of a certain unit. So options for other units in the remaining slots. For your tank, you have Sabrina. For your support attacks, you have QJ, Zhao Yu, and Macchiato is going to be for multiple attack and support triggers. Again, this team is very straightforward because all of your supports are being carried mostly by by Springfield. Nikita and Tololo will obviously will do most of your DPS damage, plus they will also add their own debuffs to the battle or to your enemies. Okay, guys, so that is it. So hopefully you were able to be helped by this guide in terms of the synergy of the 3 dolls we have here as the core of the Hydro team. Again, guys, comment down in the comment section what do you think. Take care, stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.